Hello, welcome to another weekly reading vlog. This week is gonna be so fun. So, this weekend we're going to Portland. My boyfriend and I. We're gonna go to Portland for 2 nights, a day, and some change. Saturday we're going to drop Austin's car off because they're the only dealership that can work on his specific car. So we have to go and drop that off on Saturday, and then we have a concert in Portland that night. We're going to a rave, which it's been so long. I think we're seeing Midnight Tea, which is going to be so good. My neck is already feeling the pain. And then we're going to stay all of Sunday and then most of Monday until his car is done, because obviously the dealership isn't going to be open on the weekends. At least the service side of it. So we're gonna be there for all of Sunday, a good chunk of Monday, and then Saturday night. I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun. I've already got like an itinerary, like things that we want to do. Obviously, Powell's bookstore is the top of the list, but I'm just so excited. So that's coming up in this vlog if you're curious of what's gonna go on. But I finished a book that I would love to chat about. Finally I finished. I freaking love this book. Oh my goodness. I have not real tabs. I need to transfer them because this book made me feel so many things. This book did so much. There's so much action. This is the sequel to The Wrath and the Dawn, which is a duology, and oh my god, I love it. I was so happy to be back with these characters in this world and see it progress, and honestly, I wish it was longer. Like, I could have had another book. I know, that's so weird for me. Normally duologies really do it, but I could have taken another one from this because I just love these characters so much. I loved the ending so much. I loved everything about this. It was fantastic. There were more perspectives than usual. It did feel a little bit head bouncing at first, and it took me a second to like kind of grip the writing style. But once I was in it, oh boy, was I in it, and I ate this up. I binged this so hard. I didn't want to put it down. I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was so fantastic. Oh my goodness. I was so happy to be in this world again and with these characters. I forgot what I was saying, but I binged this. It almost made me cry. I almost cried. I didn't quite, but I very much could have by the end. There was just so much that happened, and it was just so good. I love these characters. I love this world. I love the magic. I love everything about it. I need to read more of Renee Ahdieh so bad. I believe The Beautiful and the Damned is 4 out of 5 books right now, ? But apparently she's written the 4th one while pregnant, and it feels so, and it's not as good as the others. I still think I'm going to give it a shot and try it out, but I adore it so much. I can't wait to read more from this author. Oh my gosh. That's what I've already read. That's the weekend plans today. Today is Wednesday. And it's pretty late in Wednesday, actually, if we're being totally honest with ourselves. And I've got stuff to do. I need to edit tomorrow's video. I need to clean the house for our house sitters to make it habitable, to make people want to be here because our dogs are menaces. So obviously I need the house to be in a nice state so that they are wanting to stay with our annoying dogs and walk them and take care of them and do all those fun things. You know the drill. So I'm struggling with motivation. If you watched my last vlog, I'm sure I talked about it a little bit, but I'll talk about it a little more. Mental health has been such a roller coaster lately. It's been very up and down. Like 2 days I'll be solid and good. 3 days I'm like, it's rough out here. So it's one of those, like, yesterday was bad, today is better, but still not good, if that makes sense. So I'm having a really hard time getting that urge to clean my house because I don't care if I'm in filth right now, even though I know I need to do it. There's a time clock. I work the next 2 days, so like I have a lot that I need to do. I have a lot of projects that I have to work on Saturday. So like there's a lot going on. I can't just ignore the cleaning, and I can't put it all on Austin to do all the cleaning. So I have to do it. And I'm struggling with it a little bit. It's super fun. So yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna go about this. Maybe I'll do like time tasks with some reward system. I don't know. We're gonna have to figure something out because I would like to get at least 2 rooms cleaned today, and it's like probably 6 p.m. right now. It's also very warm, which does not help me wanting to walk around my house and clean because it's warm. So I'm thinking I'm going to focus on my office and the bathroom today. Get those cleaned. And while I do, I will listen to Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove. I do not remember the author. This is an audiobook that I've had on NetGalley for so long, and I'm really trying hard right now to lower my current reads on Goodreads, which is 15 books right now, and I really want to lower my NetGalley so that I can start requesting more exciting things, things that I've been wanting to get, because I've been getting declined a lot. It's really humbling getting declined so often for like books you're really excited for, and it's like, I get it, everyone else is excited for them too, but like, throw me a bone, make me feel better, make me feel special. Come on, NetGalley. So yes, that is my plan. That is what's going on. I will check in with you guys later at some point, probably with book updates, but until then, wish me luck on cleaning. Oh, it feels so daunting. Bonjour. Good day. How is your wife? Hello. Bonjour. I have book mail. So, I know in my last vlog I was like, no more spending money on books. But these ones are slight exceptions. Plus, I said after this weekend, it's Friday. So I've got a little bit of grace period since we're going out of town this weekend. So I did end up purchasing the entire Crown of Naxia books. It's just Serpent and the Wings of Night, which I read, and then the novella that follows different characters. This is 6 Scorched Roses, and then of course The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, which I still need to read. But if you didn't know, congratulations to Carissa Broadbent. Tor has actually picked up this series, and this series only so far from what I know. And they're doing slight cover redesigns, and I know that seems very silly, but I really like this cover, and I don't necessarily want the newer cover. Oh my god, they did it again. This one's shiny and this one's matte. I'm gonna lose my mind. Anywho, but yeah, they're slightly redoing the covers. The colors are changing a little bit and they're going to be brighter. But I really enjoyed this first book. I thought it was a lot of fun. So I decided to just kind of bite the bullet and get it. But now I'm annoyed because both of these are in the nice, soft, indie, matte paperback feel. And this is stupid and glossy. This keeps happening to me. And it's making me upsetty spaghetti. But basically, whatever's left in stock for this series is it, and then you won't be able to buy them until October. So I wanted to get on it now because I'm planning to read the second book somewhat soon. I know that the audiobook doesn't come out until October now for the sequel, but I was interested and I thought I wanted to get it. So, and also because I didn't get Kimberly Lemming's Mean Mishap series when I read them and when I liked them, and so now they're getting new cover designs, and they're not, so far what I've seen, not great. But those don't come out until January, so I no longer am taking the risk. They got another series. Because I've read, again, I read City of Brass. This is so cute and small. Oh my god, the font is tiny. But yes, I love this. I love this so much. So I bought the paperback series. Eventually, I'm also going to get the hardbacks because, again, I'm a fucking fan. I love them. So yes, next I will be reading The Kingdom of Copper, and I'm so excited. And then The Empire of Gold, which she's chunky. She is, like 100, nope, not 100. 100 pages, 790 pages, which is kind of a lot. It's kind of a lot. But yes, that's what I've purchased. I know. But I have until the end of the weekend before the book buying ban officially starts. But yeah, I'm excited to have these books on my shelves officially because I'm actually going to be reading them this year. So it's kind of okay. Books that I'm absolutely reading this year are good to buy. Books that I have no plans to read, less good to buy. You know, it's fine. But technically, the Dewey 24-hour readathon started 3 hours ago. I haven't read anything. So that's kind of my plan for the evening, is to read and kind of relax, maybe clean a little bit. And then tomorrow I have so much to do. So as much reading as I can get done today is the better option, because then that means more time for everything else tomorrow. You get me? So that's kind of what's going on with me, is I'm just going to be reading. I have the Dewey 24-hour readathon happening, which I'm like very loosely participating this year just because like we're traveling tomorrow, and so I don't want to like put all of my energy into a 24-hour readathon. But I want to loosely participate, read the things that I need to read. I'm working on 2 videos, so I can chat about 3 videos. So I can chat about some of the books, but not all of the books. But the book I will chat about right now is the one I've been listening to the last 2 days, which is Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove. I got to the 82% mark today, and I thought it was over. And I was like getting ready to go on Goodreads, you know, like review the book. And then I saw on NetGalley that I still had 2.5 hours. And I was like, what? This is the end. Like, it's over. We did it. What? And so now I'm like, okay, so I have to finish that still. But basically, I have a hard time following the story a little bit because the narrator does not differentiate the voices very well, and it's making me have a hard time following who's who and what's what. But in this, we're following a girl and her brother and the prince, or they're both. I think that's the situation. I think the prince is her cousin, sort of. And so we've got her and these 2 boys that she's like siblings / cousin, family related to in some ways. And she has this bond with the queen because the queen saved her from whatever had happened to her parents. And so she has this like bond to her and is very connected, very like dedicated. She's kind of the prince's bodyguard often. She is quite a badass, I'll admit. But I have this issue with the narrator making her sound a lot younger than I think she actually is. And again, differentiating the character voices, like the prince and her sound too similar that I have a hard time knowing who's talking, because the names in fantasy books, when you're only listening to the audio, kind of gets lost in translation. I couldn't tell you any of their names. But there's high stakes and high adventure. The like beginning of the book, it reads really fast. I flew through the first 25%. And they go to this other kingdom with this other prince, and they like do some training montage, and then they have to go back because the queen's like, emergency, assassin attempts are happening, you guys need to come back. So they go back, and then like shit kind of just hits the fan from there. I'm enjoying the plot. I'm enjoying the romance. Oh my god. So much has happened. Like, there's a lot of action and a lot that's happening, and sometimes I'm like, it's a little much. It's a little much because I don't know who these people are. So I don't have any connection whatsoever to the characters, but like the cute little romance spots, like the first kiss was really cute. I'm not gonna lie. It feels a little more juvenile. There's a few things here and there that I'm like, it's probably gonna be like a 3.5 at this rate. So yes, but I also saw this on somebody's best of 2023 so far list, so there's definitely an audience for it. I've not seen anybody else really talk about it. It's kind of like a so-so fantasy for me. I'm not, again, connected to the characters, so it's making it a bit harder, but I like the plot. But I think also because I've been reading so much fantasy lately that it's hard to bounce from like City of Brass and The Rose and the Dagger to this, because it just doesn't compare to the same level. I'm pretty sure this is a standalone debut, which is really cool. And again, I think the writing is good. I think the plot is good. But in comparison to like City of Brass, The Rose and the Dagger, like very loved books by me, it's hard to like compete fantasy realm, because I'm just like, you mean to tell me that I just read The Rose and the Dagger and this is what I have to compete with that? Like, it's just not the same. So it's not fair to this book whatsoever, but I need to get it read. And yes, I'm just in like my fantasy era right now, but sometimes it's like to a detriment, because I'm reading so much fantasy that it's hard to be the best of all the things that I'm reading, whereas normally I'm reading thrillers, horrors, fantasies, romance all around the same time, and I'm not doing that right now. So it's a little weird, but that's what I'm reading. I've got, I think, 51 minutes left because I'm listening at 3 times speed, so I'll definitely get that wrapped up, maybe while I clean up some stuff around the house, and then I'll wind down and read 3 books that I have for different reading vlogs, which is so exciting. One of them is coming out on Sunday. That's gonna be, it's already out. I can talk about them. This is my weekly vlog. This is coming out after. So I'm reading Yellowface and Divine Rivals for my best books of 2023 video, and I'm so freaking excited for them. So if you want to see all of my thoughts on them and you've missed it somehow, it's on the channel. Check it out. I'm so excited. So those are like the 2 big things that I'm reading tonight, as well as another summer horror. But those are what the night's plans are, what I'm doing today. I'll probably chat with you guys tomorrow about stuff, and then kind of go through my day with you guys, and then we're heading up to Portland. Hello. Oh my god. We're getting pizza at a new place on the way to Portland, and this parking lot is fucking insane. Like, it is so jam-packed with people, and every car is just circling like fucking vultures, ready to hit everybody. I nearly got hit in this parking lot like 3 times. To say the least, not fun. I hope this pizza was good and worth it, but also there's the biggest, most beautiful Barnes & Noble that I'm trying so hard to talk Austin into going in with me. He's like, yeah, I can take a nap and you can go in. I'm like, I don't want to go in alone. I will if I must, but like, I want to experience it with him. We'll see, but hopefully this pizza's good. We're almost in Portland, so that's exciting. Update, the pizza's taking far more than 15 minutes to be ready, but because I found a parking spot in this disastrous parking lot, Austin's gonna go into Barnes & Noble with me to look around. We're not gonna buy anything, we're just gonna look because it's really pretty. So that's a win in my book. I've just been sitting here playing Pokemon Go, but I've exhausted it. So I'm gonna start Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina Halley. I'm stupid excited. Melody's already started this, and she was like, have you started? Are you reading it yet? And I was like, not yet. So I'm really excited. I know that Daphne's been reading it. I don't know how far she's actually gotten, but I think her book club's gonna talk about it soon, so probably soon, so that'll be fun. And then I'll probably let Eliza know that I've started and make her drop everything she's reading to pick it up. So that's what's going on with me. But that's what I'm going to start while I wait for Austin and this pizza so we can go to Barnes & Noble. I'm so excited. It's like 2 stories. It's so pretty on the outside. Ours is not 2 stories at home, so. So damage has been done. We actually ended up going to 2 different Powell's locations, which I knew there was 3 in Oregon. There's like the big one that everybody goes to, everyone knows about. And then there's a smaller one in same general Portland area. And then there's a 3rd location, which is honestly my favorite one. And it is in Beaverton. There we go. It's in Beaverton, and it's smaller, but honestly I preferred the selection. I enjoyed the atmosphere a bit more. It was way less busy. Overall, it was just like a really good time. So so exciting. Let me show you what we got. These are going to be a mix of both Austin and I's things, but the first thing I got, well, one of the things that I got is Delicious Monsters by Liselle Sambury, author of Blood Magic and Blood Like Fate. I'm so intrigued with this one. It is young adult horror. Sorry, we just got home and I'm so tired. So it's young adult horror, and I don't really remember what it's about. I think the audiobook is on script. What a beautiful, oh my god, matches my room. But I don't remember what this is really about. I just know that, I want to say Jessie on YouTube read this and had pretty high rating and review. And I love and adore young adult horror. It's probably one of my favorite genres. So I saw it and I picked it up. And then last second, so Austin was like, you can get 4 books. And I was like, great. And I knew going in to the weekend that this was like the last big hurrah of book shopping. And so I was like, there's 2 books that I actually really want and 1 that I need. So I'm going to try and prioritize those. And then they didn't have either of them at the big Powell's. It was surprising. So last second edition, when I didn't know what to get, I decided to get Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I really want Spinning Silver as well, because these are the fantasy kind of retellings, and I'm incredibly excited for them. They're both adult, and so I'm at some point going to order Spinning Silver as well, just because I really want it. But it had like the New York bestsellers sticker that didn't come off, and so I was like, I'll just go with the one that doesn't have a sticker and I'll be happier. But I'm super excited for this. I'm not sure which story this is like a retelling of or inspired by, but it looks like there's dragons. I'm into dragons. I like dragons. Speaking of dragons, I got Dragonfall by L.R. Lamb. I've been wanting this for a while. So hi, welcome. My name is Sam. I have a YouTube channel and I really love Fourth Wing, I know. Just like every other girl, I'm basic, what can I say? I need more dragon books. I don't think this will have quite the same charm as Fourth Wing, but I don't think anything can at this point get to Fourth Wing's level. If it's gonna be like in the same dragon world, because all dragons are portrayed very differently. But I've been seeing this one all over and it's been very high on my like radar, so I finally just decided to pick it up. And then the last thing that I got was also kind of just like I saw it, I got it, and it's been on my TBR for a bit and it's really intrigued me this year. This is the first book in a trilogy, and it's The Mask of Mirrors. Shannon Chakraborty blurbed it on the front, so obviously it's important. I did not realize it was so chunky, and I don't think the 3rd book is out yet, but I saw it and I had to have it. The Mask of Mirrors is the unmissable start to the Rook and Rose trilogy, a dazzling and darkly magical fantasy adventure by Mary Brennan and Alec Helms, writing together as M.A. Carrick. Oh, interesting. So this is 2 authors. Good to know. I'm very excited though for this. I have a potential video concept that I want to use it for, and then Austin picked up 2 books. He got Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. This had like the sales people were like, one of the best books I've ever read, and blah, blah, blah. And so it really intrigued him. And this is the first book in a trilogy, and it's following like an apocalyptic setting, like the end of the world happens, and you've got a group of survivors, an anthropologist, a surveyor, a psychologist, and de facto leader, and our narrator, a biologist. And so yeah, something about Area X and an investigation and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm actually kind of intrigued. I'll see what he thinks of it when he gets around to it. And then he also got The Fire Sermon by Francesca Haig. I have no clue what this is about. From an award-winning poet, richly imagined and action-packed post-apocalyptic trilogy. I think he's in a mood. I think he's in like an apocalyptic mood, because we actually, on the way back, started Black Tide by Casey Jones, which takes place on the Oregon coast. So that's what we're listening to on the drive back home today. And we got about an hour and a half, 2 hours into it, and it's enjoyable so far. But it's set on the Oregon coast, and it's an end of the world type of story. So we're following this girl Beth and this guy Michael. They're neighbors. She's house sitting for the people and watching their dog Jake. Spoilers, he does die in the end. I had to look that up. Austin already knew, because it's advertised as Stephen King's Cujo and something else. And so Austin's like, well, obviously the dog is going to get possessed or something. And I was like, you know what this is? You know Stephen King? So yeah. But basically, they have a one-night stand, because they just meet, hit it off, sleep together, and then a meteor shower happens, and they smell really bad, and then like weird stuff starts to happen, and it's like an end of the world story. So apparently he's on an end of the world kick. I don't know what that's about. And then finally he got a book magnet clip stand. It just holds your book open. He got that. I'm just really excited for it. And then the other Powell's book is where I did damage, but these books weren't as expensive. So if you're trying to buy books but you don't want to spend $30 on books, I would say that the Beaverton Powell's is better, because it's not quite as expensive, and it makes me feel good. So the first thing, this was what I was on the hunt for. This is Thieves of Sword by Michael J. Sullivan, volume 1 of the Ryria Revelations. This is two men, besties, a thief and a mercenary, and they are the suspects of the king's murder, and have to try and find their way out of it, because they are trying to steal a sword. I'm really intrigued. I saw Reads with Rachel review this, and I was like, yep, I need that one. The audiobooks are on Scribd, and I know that there's more than just this trilogy. Like, there's prequels and other books set in the same universe and world, so I know this will be a fun path to go down eventually. And then I picked up the other book that I actually really needed, which is A Twisted Love Story by Samantha Downing. This is the Literally Dead book club pick for August, and the audiobook on Libby is like several months wait from every library I have access to. So I needed to pick it up, and instead of buying it on Amazon, I decided while I was at Powell's I would just get it since it was out. I don't know what it's about, but I'm very excited. I've read For Your Own Good. I have not read My Lovely Wife. I was gonna buy an edition of Lovely Wife. The thing about Powell's, especially the Beaverton Powell's, is they take a lot of used books and like resell them. Some of them are a little bit stupid expensive, and I don't get it, but the editions of My Lovely Wife were just a little bit too grimy that I was like, I'll hold off. Okay, next. Oh. Yeah, so whilst we were away, we had house sitters come and feed the dogs, let them outside, walk them, and then they were gone for most of the day. So the dogs were alone overnight, alone during the day. They don't like it. They don't like being alone. So they did eat my copy of Dark Age a little bit. They like tore the cover, and then like the center pages were just destroyed. So I had to get another copy of it, but it was $11. So I'm not like too beat up about it, but we did need it. So I will be actually reading this hopefully soon, because Lightbearer comes out tomorrow, which is really exciting. So I gotta get on this. But yeah, I had to get that. Next in here, this is something Austin got. This is A Tipping Point, How Little Things Can Make a Big Difference by Malcolm Gladwell. This is nonfiction. He's a little nonfiction boy. He likes that kind of stuff. And then he also got How We Got the Bible by Neil L. Wrightfoot. This is the 3rd edition, revised and expanded. But this is like how they were transcribed and all of that. We've been talking about how I want to read the Bible from like a scholarly historical point of view. So I think when he saw this, that was going through his brain. But yeah, it's kind of just like how it came to be and so on. We'll see. Next up, we've got, these were kind of on a whim, but they were inexpensive. They were $9 and $12. So I got 6 of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. Yes, they do have the ugly little flap, I know, but I have them, the Siege Storms, fuck. You know the series, it's on the back, Shadow and Bone. I have the Shadow and Bone trilogy in paperback right now, so I thought I can complete the paperback parts with these. Eventually I will be getting all of these in hardback just because there's some really pretty editions that I want. But until then, I'm ready to embark on the journey now. I can read all of Leigh Bardugo. I'm thinking like a 72-hour readathon or a weekly vlog or something. I don't know how long these will actually take me to read, but I'm thinking like dedicated reading vlog where I just read the hell out of Leigh Bardugo. I'm very excited, and they weren't too expensive. Next, I got The Bone House by Emily Lloyd Jones. This is the author of The Drowning Woods. This is her debut, at least her first book, I think. Maybe those are the same things. I don't know. Warrior could stop the risen dead. No warrior could stop the risen dead, but perhaps a gravedigger could. I do not know what this is about, but Nerdy Nat Reads likes this a lot, and so I was influenced by her. I was like, she likes it. Sure, it sounds good. I'm into it. So I picked that up because it wasn't too bad, and I'm very excited. I don't know. I'm excited. Okay, last 2. This is another one for Austin. This is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Powerful Lessons in Personal Change by Stephen R. Covey. My nonfiction king. And then for me, just for funsies, I got 50 Spanish coffee breaks, short activities to improve your Spanish 1 cup at a time. Coffee break languages. If you are new to my channel, hello. I've been learning French on Duolingo for the past 6 or 7 months. Around Christmas time I started in 2022, and I've been taking French ever since. And fuck that language, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's really pretty if people can do it. I don't like the accents, and they ignore their S's, and it really bothers me. And I have a hard time differentiating singular and plural. But this is my 3rd language that I'm like becoming proficient in. The first one being Spanish, the next one being Italian. They did not have an Italian one of these. They had French and they had Spanish, and I was gonna get the French one, but I was like, I want to improve my Spanish and really work on that again soon. So I was thinking get the Spanish book and see how I do, and then kind of go back from my studies from there. But I just thought this would be fun. A little like morning thing to do. So those were all the books. That's everything that I got. I took photos of one book that I'm interested if I can find through my library, especially like audio, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it, so I didn't want to buy it. And then I also discovered a poet, and I don't remember her name. It's like Courtney Pin something. And the covers are beautiful, and I'm super interested in looking into her more. So if you have poetry, if you have poetry selections, please leave them down in the description or in the comments for me, because I'm trying to become a poetry girly. I want to get into it, and I don't know where to start besides Mary Oliver. So if you have good poetry selections, please tell me. I would like them, because I want to read more poetry. I want to be a poetry bitch. So yeah. That's my haul. That's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Those are my 11 books that I bought. That's not bad. That's really not bad. I told myself when we were going to Powell's today that it's okay if I spend $100 or so, because today Fairy Loot opened their sales for, what is her name, Mary Owens, the Kiss of Deception trilogy, and I almost bought them for $107, not including shipping, and I decided not to do that because although they are pretty, I don't need them, and they're on Kindle Unlimited. So I decided to not do that, and instead I bought 10 books for about the same price, and that just seems like a better deal for me. So that's the haul. Everyone's so happy we're home, by the way. The dogs are currently at the dog park because we are exhausted, we are tired, and our bodies hurt. So I'm very unfortunately sad that I have to work tomorrow at the office and study all day, but I'm also happy to be home. And I'm gonna sleep so good tonight. It's gonna be great. But I will miss the California King. Ah. Oh, wow. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, she's chunky. She's beauty, she's grace. She's not a real sticker. Fuck yeah. She's beauty, she's great, she's Miss America's next top model. Hello, we are getting ready to go to the lake, but I wanted to properly introduce my newest books. I do actually have the Barnes & Noble edition on the way, which is going to have like the maroon, I believe, sprayed edges. This, though, is just the Amazon, like, generic pre-order. She's so pretty. I'm obsessed. I love her. I'm so excited to read this. I can't wait. I already have the audiobook on Libby, so I will be jumping into this one. Maybe not in this vlog, but probably the next vlog for sure. Happy. And then finally, we got the second edition to the sequel to Daughter of the Pirate King with the very pretty sprayed stenciled edges. You've got the map, and then you've got the book. This is the sequel. There will be the third sequel type of book. It's kind of a standalone from the series because it's following the mother character, but that doesn't come out until November. But I have this one now, and she's so pretty. I'm so excited. I love so much. I'm glad to have her on my shelf. So these have been the newest additions to the collection. I'm excited for my Barnes to come in. And then I think that's it for pre-orders for the month. I believe that's it. I don't know. I'll let you know if more things show up. Time of the week where I remember that I need to review the books that I read. So, I finished Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove by Roddy. I'm not even gonna try to butcher that. This is Indian-inspired fantasy, and it had potential to be better, but the narration style really irked me. I did not like the narrator. The voices for the characters were just the same across the board, and I couldn't tell them apart very easily. And a lot happens, but yet nothing happens. I had been in the process of listening to this audiobook for longer than usual, and it was just like so. I had no connection to any of the characters. I didn't really care what happened. And again, like, a lot was happening because she's bodyguard to the prince, who's also her cousin, and she's got a life bond to the queen who saved her, but also the queen is the reason her family is dead. And then they go to training, and then brought back from the training because they have to, because there was an assassination attempt, and so they come back to the queen, and then more things start to spiral, and then she is arrested for certain things that happen, and it's a lot. And when you don't care about the characters because you don't have a connection to them and their voices sound too similar and you can't tell them apart, it starts to get really bogged down, and there's just like too much happening. And so I wasn't able to enjoy it as much as I wanted to, but I did enjoy the romance, which is very little. It's not overwhelming. There is like kind of an attempt at a love triangle, but it's not overwhelming. And the first kiss scene I thought was really sweet. That was like the 25% mark or something, and so I thought that was cute. But yeah, besides like the romance being sweet, it's definitely a young adult fantasy. I have seen this on somebody's best book of the year so far, like best book that they've read, so it definitely has an audience and people are definitely going to enjoy it. I just don't see as many people picking it up, and it's gonna have a harder time finding the right audience. But I gave it, I think, just a 3-star all around, maybe 4. I gave it a 4-star. Here's the thing about Goodreads. You can't do half ratings. I swear majority of my reading is a 3.5. Based on how it turns out in Compile, everything is a 3.5. And so it's really annoying having to choose on Goodreads whether it's a 3.5 but a 3 or a 3.5 but a 4. Anywho. The next thing that I wanted to talk about very briefly, I listened to Come Join Us by the Fire, which was the season 2. This is Tor Nightfire's scary anthology. It's horror books. A bunch of narrators come together and read these short stories from popular authors. I went into it hoping to get a story from Cassandra Claw, by T. Kingfisher, by somebody else, and their stories weren't there. So that was a little bit disappointing. Overall, this was a 2-star anthology. I didn't have a lot of fun with it. I didn't really care about any of the stories. They were so short that like you're kind of dropped into a story and then it just ends and you don't really understand what happened. It doesn't feel satisfying. You're kind of confused. It was like that a lot, and I don't think I got the point of them. I didn't feel much. It was a very so-so read. But I like that it was like a horror audiobook, and so each story has a different narrator and sound effects that sometimes added to it. Sometimes the sound effects took away from it too, because you're listening to sound effects, it's hard to hear the actual narrator talk. So it kind of goes back and forth, but it was okay. I'm glad that I listened to it because I like the story by Gabriel Ibanez or something like that. The author who wrote I'll put it on the screen. I don't know what it's called, but that one, I haven't read it yet, but he wrote a short story and his was my favorite. So yes. Hello, I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep. I want to sleep so bad, but I cannot. I have a video that I need to edit for tomorrow, so I will be up at least a little bit longer. I promise you, when I'm done editing, I'm going to bed. Books to finish talking about. So, my goal this week has been to lower my Goodreads currently reading. It's been consistently around like 18, 17 all year. And so I'm finally going back and finishing those books that I was literally 50% through. And so I finished Notes on an Execution, and I'm not giving it a rating because I put it down due to mental health. November, December, January were really bad months for me mentally, and I was in like a really big life slump, and it definitely carried into my reading slump. But Notes on an Execution, I actually stopped. One, because it was a bit slow and more literary than I was looking for at the time, but also because it's heavy topics. You're following this guy on death row who is a serial killer, and you're seeing all of the women that he impacted, as well as like him trying to escape, and there's like a lot going on, and I had to stop. I think I was like 25% in, maybe something like that. Like I wasn't super far, but I was far enough, and I knew it was something I wanted to revisit because I've heard such great reviews. And so when I came to revisit, I still just I couldn't give it the attention that it deserves. I couldn't give it the love and the need that it needs, you know? It really wasn't working for me, and so that was okay. I didn't rate it on Goodreads, but I did finish it at least, and it just didn't hit the spot. I think just because of the experience around it, it just kind of, I couldn't give it the love it needed. I'm sure you get it. Today at work, I finished Dead 11 by Jimmy Boy, and this was okay. If you're going to read this, because I know Kayla recently read it, Books and Lala, for Summerween, and so I'm sure a lot of people have put this on their radar. I absolutely highly recommend the audiobook. The production of it is very well. You've got these students conducting interviews, and so it feels like it, like the tapes cut and like stop in the middle of like sentences, and it is so well done. And I think that if you were physically reading it, you might not get the same fun vibes. So yeah, I definitely recommend the audiobook. But this is what I was going into it because it was pitched as this island or this community that relives the same day every single day. The starting catalyst point of the story is this woman who finds her neighbor dead, and they have a routine of checking the mail at the specific time every day. And even like on days where there is no mail, no matter the weather, always check the mail at the same exact time. And so the real little time loop that they are perpetuating themselves. And so her neighbor dies, and she strings her up on a string from the tree to her house so they can pretend that she's still checking the mail with her. So that excited me. That was like such a good setup for me. I was really excited about this whole like Groundhog's Day sort of situation because that interests me. It became a lot more, and this book was too long. It was really long, and I was struggling to keep giving it my attention because I just felt like nothing was happening for so long that I just was like, I don't care. I just wanted to end. I want to move on. And so we're following this girl, Willow, who's an outsider coming to the town, and she's the new pastor, and she's working with the kids. And so things are starting to get stirred up, and we're starting to uncover what's really going on here. And I thought the ending was really interesting and well done. It's just that chunk in the middle, I was like, I don't care. She's dealing with the grief of her son because her son died or was kidnapped. I think died. And so she's like writing letters back to her husband being like, I saw our son and something's leading me here. Like, this is very important. And so like you have that going on. And then you have this weird town, and then you've got the kids, and then these kids are doing interviews. Like, there's a lot going on. For a debut, I think it's interesting. I think that the publishing did a good job deciding to invest in the audio narration style and editing. I think that was like their wisest decision because I think that's going to help this a lot. But I love the cover. I loved the setup, what it was supposed to be. It didn't fully work for me. It's a 3.5. Like, it's just, it is what it is. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. I really wanted to love it because I like to pretend that I like Groundhog's Day type of video or books, and then they're so. But that has been the 2 books that I've completed since we last chatted. And today I also was continuing with In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead, which I left off at the 50% mark back in like November. So I picked it back up today on Scribd, the audiobook, and it took me a second to like get back into it. Like, I know that it's a school reunion in college, so they're all coming back together, and they're all like, we know something happened to our friend who died back in college, and they are pointing the fingers trying to figure out who actually did it. And so that's kind of what we're building to. It's similar to The It Girl by Ruth Ware, same like past where it's like their senior year of college, and in the future where it's reunion. It's kind of similar-ish to the It Girl, so it's hard not to compare and like think about the It Girl and get the plots a little bit confused. Obviously Ashley Winstead did do it first, so it's not fair to Ashley Winstead in her book, but I also can't help it. So I'm like 75% in. I've got 45 minutes left, so like I'm definitely going to be finishing it. I hope tonight. I'm gonna edit, and then I think that's what I'll listen to when I like crawl into bed. Austin and I have been reading this book called Black Tide by Casey Jones, I think, which is sci-fi horror, which is not Austin's genre, but it takes place on the Oregon coast, which, hi, Oregon local here. So it's been a lot of fun. Saturday night, we were like, let's go to bed early, let's listen to the book while we go to sleep. We were up until 1 in the morning listening to this book together. And it was one of those things, like, around midnight, we were both getting kind of tired, so we were like, okay, let's shut it off. And then we started just talking about the book and everything that was happening with the characters and the monsters and the aliens and all this stuff. And then we were like, I guess we're not actually tired. We listened to another hour and a half of it or something. So we're 65% into that. Probably will wrap that up soon. I don't know if that'll be in this video. I just want to throw it out there. It is so fun to buddy read with your partner and just like listening to the same book together, especially when you're just like winding down, like not talking, not doing anything, no distractions, just listening. And it's so funny listening to a horror book. Like, it's gory, like things happen. Like, our protagonists have dumb bitch main character energy. We're following a girl, Beth, and a guy, Michael, and their dog's name is Jake. It's not actually either of their dog, but they're taking care of this dog. And so generic basic ass names, whatever. But yeah, it's so fun listening to like scary alien stuff happening on the beach with my partner, who does listen to predominantly nonfiction, and then like The Name of the Wind, Robin Hobb, Red Rising, and they're just not at the same level as Black Tide, and I find it hilarious. And he's having a good time because we're buddy reading it. He wouldn't read this if I wasn't there. So it's just a lot of fun. I highly recommend pick a book together, read a book together, if it's your friend, if it's your partner. Maybe not your parent. That might get a little weird. But somebody that you're like close enough to that you can hang out with and just like not do too much and listen to a book together. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend the experience. But whew, cool. Yeah, that's it. Life update. I'm buddy reading with my boyfriend, and it is July 31st, which is the last day of the month. So I'm trying to finish as many books as I can. I've read 29 books as of right now. If I finish In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, that'll be 30. And that's going to be kind of wild because I read 30 books in May. And I think just May. And that was for Escape the Readathon, I think. That or is April. A lot of readathons have been happening. Everything's jumbled in my brain. I'm unwell, but it's okay. Anywho, I read a lot of books this month without a singular readathon, and that makes me really proud and impressed. I'm still behind in my reading because I'm overwhelmed, and I'm doing it to myself, so it's okay. But it's a lot. But I've been rambling a lot. Those are my life updates. I will check in with you guys at some point. This video will be ending on Wednesday, so I'll finish whatever books I can, and we'll get ready for a new month of too many readathons. Holy cow, so many readathons. Whew. Hi. I promise you, when I do vlogs, I do try to switch up the background, but I truly just spend all of my time at this desk. Like, any spare moment, if I'm not reading on the couch, I'm here. So like reading vlogs, you get the couch. Weekly vlogs, you get the office. Which luckily, like, you still get a look at shelves, so it's fine. But I filmed 2 videos today. Went for a nice walk with the dogs when it was really hot outside to play some Pokemon Go, because that's been my recent obsession. I'm an obsessive person. I have a very addictive personality, and everything that I've been obsessed with for the first 6 months or so of the year all came to an end. And so I'm slowly trying to fill that hole in my heart with other things. Right now it's been Pokemon Go because that's consistent. That's always there. There's always something new to do. Even if it's just like a daily check, like it's something to be addicted to. I know that's bad. I know how that sounds. But you know, it could be worse. I could be doing drugs still. So, we're winning. As for reading, I have no updates. As for life, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. But I'm gonna try, to maybe film another video. But this video is coming to an end. This is the end. Thanks for hanging out, if you made it this far. Should we start doing the emoji thing for people that made it so far? Everyone does that, and I don't know if it's worth it. Like, I know, real talk, for YouTube, the engagement is worth it. The engagement is what's great. Like, if nobody has something to say, comment the book emoji, and then, like, it helps the engagement, and people don't have to feel scared. Because I get it. It's intimidating to comment in people's comment sections. It's really scary. I've really had to put myself out there to do it, because I've not done it the first 20-something years of my life. I get it. So should I be that girly that's like, comment and subscribe, put an emoji down below? Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's me. I don't usually ask for likes and subscribes unless it's like specific videos that I know are going to get more views. My weekly vlogs, not really. I don't know. How do I do the YouTube thing? Anyway, we're not going to get into the mental health today. This is a happy, uplifting vlog of me traveling and living my best life. So we're going to keep it that way. Okay, great. But come next reading vlog, so many books to talk about. Next weekly vlog, I should say. So many books to talk about. I think I'm going to have the house to myself this weekend, which is great because there's a readathon, a 48-hour readathon I'm doing. So that'll be really fun. But that's going to be it for this video. And thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for this fun little week of my life and my reading and mostly my life of traveling and going to the lake. It was a really good week. I'm excited to continue it and go strong. I'm also still exhausted from Portland. Like, I have not recovered the sleep since then. So, pros and cons, but thanks for hanging out and goodbye.